Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we unpack fascinating stories and ideas, giving you a shortcut to being truly well-informed. Today, we're embarking on a journey into a figure whose influence, well, it rippled through centuries, utterly transforming one of the world's greatest poets. We're exploring the life and impact of Shams Tabrizi. He was a wandering dervish, a mystic known for their ascetic life and ecstatic spiritual quest. His encounter with Rumi fundamentally reshaped not just a man, but the very heart of mystical poetry and the Sufi tradition, the mystical branch of Islam.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here is how one individual who barely left any writings of his own could have such an immense catalytic effect on another. It sparked this incredible creative outpouring in Rumi that continues to inspire millions even today. So our mission today is really to understand who Shams was, what he taught, and maybe why his spirit still resonates so powerfully. It really shows the lasting power of deep personal connection.
Okay, let's unpack this. So before he ever met the famed Rumi, who was this mysterious figure, Shams Tabrizi, what was his life like? What kind of path led him to this pivotal encounter?
Well, Shams al-Din Tabrizi was born back in the 12th century in the city of Tabriz, Persia, a vibrant place. But unlike many scholars of his time, people tied to big academies or religious institutions, his life was distinctly different. He was a wandering mystic, an unconventional teacher, definitely an unrelenting seeker of truth. And crucially, quite remarkably for the time, he wasn't attached to titles or wealth or societal prestige. He really embodied that spirit of detachment. He journeyed through various lands, no fixed home, just seeking profound spiritual insight and often challenging traditional interpretations of faith.
That level of detachment, being unburdened by worldly ambitions or what society expected, that sounds incredibly radical for the 12th century. How did someone like that, who sort of shunned prestige, manage to gain such a profound influence, especially with someone as established as Rumi?
Well, I think it speaks to the sheer force of his presence, right? And the authenticity of his spiritual quest. He wasn't looking for followers. He was genuinely seeking truth. And it's this unique, almost untamed character that sets the stage for one of history's most profound spiritual friendships. He wasn't just a scholar. He was, you could say, a living embodiment of the spiritual quest, a kind of mirror. And eventually, yes, he became known as the spiritual companion of Jalaluddin Rumi, completely transforming Rumi, changing him from this respected jurist and scholar, basically a top legal theologian and professor, into a poet just consumed by divine love.
And this is where the dynamic really shifts, isn't it? In 1244, Shams and Rumi's paths crossed. It's often described not just as a meeting, but like a profound collision of two souls. The impact, well, it resonated for centuries. Can you tell us more about the intensity, the nature of that connection?
Indeed. Their meeting in Konya, it's legendary, almost mythical in how sudden it was and the impact it had. You have to remember, Rumi was this man whose life was built on profound intellect, ordered religious scholarship. He was revered in his community. He lectured, he studied, he debated. Very structured. But Shams didn't just engage Rumi intellectually. That would have been the normal way for scholars. Instead, he challenged him deeply on a fundamental existential level. He confronted Rumi's intellectual pride, his religious formality, urging him to seek a direct, lived, authentic experience of the divine, not just relying on books or academic debates or established rituals. Sources describe it almost like a lightning bolt, a profound, unsettling call to inner transformation that just shattered Rumi's ideas about spirituality.
Wow. That sounds like more than just disruption. It must have been a seismic shift for Rumi. I mean, he'd built his entire identity around his scholarly life, his public role. Their bond sounds revolutionary, completely outside the conventional norms of, say, spiritual mentorship at the time.
It absolutely was. Their bond was so intense, so all-consuming, it genuinely shocked Rumi's existing followers, and it provoked immense jealousy. This wasn't some quiet academic relationship, Rumi, who used to spend his days lecturing to eager students, now spent hours, days, sometimes even weeks, in this intense, almost silent communion with Shams. He was neglecting his students, his duties. Sources paint this vivid picture of Rumi's students waiting anxiously for their teacher, only to find him lost in ecstatic, silent connection with Shams, completely oblivious to his former life. And this intense, almost exclusive connection eventually led to Shams's mysterious disappearance. Some accounts suggest he was killed by jealous factions within Rumi's circle. Others believe he simply vanished, perhaps choosing to leave to preserve Rumi's own spiritual growth or maybe to protect Rumi from the community's outrage. We don't know for sure.
Right. But what is certain, though, is the profound aftermath. Regardless of how he left, this encounter, this relationship, it awakened in Rumi an intense, undeniable fire of divine love, a passion for truth he'd never known before.
Exactly. And this fire directly gave birth to his world-famous Masnavi, that monumental epic poem, a cornerstone of mystical literature, and countless other mystical poems too, verses that just sing of love, longing, spiritual unity.
It truly shows how one profound catalytic relationship can literally change the course of history and cultural legacy. It becomes this enduring source of inspiration for generations. So if Shams Tabrizi didn't really leave behind his own extensive written works, what were the core teachings? What did he impart that was so powerful and transformed someone like Rumi and, continues to resonate with us centuries later? What's the essence of his wisdom?
Well, Shams's wisdom revolved around several profound and interconnected ideas. Ideas that were pretty revolutionary then and honestly remain timeless. Firstly, and this is central, he believed love is the ultimate path to God. For him, love wasn't just an emotion. It was the most direct, potent, transformative bridge between humans and the divine. What Sufis call ishq, this passionate, all-consuming love that goes way beyond mere affection. He saw intellectual knowledge, while valuable, as secondary to this transformative fire of ishq. It could melt away all barriers, lead you directly to the divine presence.
So a profound reorientation then, moving away from purely intellectual pursuits towards the transformative power of the heart. How revolutionary was that shift, really, for someone like Rumi coming from traditional scholasticism?
Oh, it was radical, a direct challenge to the prevailing academic and legalistic approaches to religion. It demanded a surrender of the mind to the heart, which leads nicely to his second teaching. He emphasized going beyond the ego. He taught that true spirituality requires profound humility and surrender, a conscious effort to break free from what he called the prison of ego with all its pride, self-importance, attachments. It meant dissolving the illusion of the separate self to merge with the greater reality of the divine. That's a core concept in Sufi thought.
That emphasis on shedding the ego, it's a powerful call, but it's also incredibly challenging, isn't it? Did Shams teach about practical steps or daily disciplines one might use to actually break free from the prison of ego? It sounds like a lifelong kind of endeavor.
It is, absolutely. And while he didn't really prescribe rigid rituals in the way some traditions do, his teaching implied constant self-observation, a willingness to confront one's attachments, detachment from worldly praise or blame, a willingness to be misunderstood even, and a deep, continuous turning inward. He encouraged genuine self-inquiry, not just superficial self-improvement.
Okay.
And this connects right into his third key teaching, truth over formality. Shams often criticized empty rituals and rigid dogmas that lacked inner meaning. He saw them as, shells without kernels. He encouraged seekers to look for authentic inner experience, genuine spiritual engagement, profound connection, rather than just being bound by external appearances, rote prayers, or, just following rules superficially. He was pushing for a lived, vibrant faith.
And for someone like Rumi, whose life was so immersed in formal religious scholarship and outward adherence to law, that must have been incredibly destabilizing. It kind of challenges the whole structure of religious authority.
Absolutely. It was a call to prioritize the spirit over the letter, the essence over the form. And finally, his own relationship with Rumi seems to exemplify another teaching, doesn't it? The very nature of their bond.
Ah, yes.
Precisely. The fourth teaching is the mirror of friendship. Shams saw the role of a true friend or a spiritual guide, not just as a mentor, but as a living mirror. Someone who not only reveals your flaws and imperfections, often with radical honesty, but more importantly, awakens your hidden potential, your true divine essence. His transformative relationship with Rumi perfectly embodied this ideal. Friendship is a powerful vehicle for profound spiritual transformation. It's a way to see yourself more clearly and become more fully who you're meant to be.
Think of those rare people in your own life who see you more clearly than you see yourself, and somehow, just by their presence, help you become more.
Exactly. That was Shams for Rumi.
It's truly incredible how these teachings from the 12th century still feel so incredibly relevant, so fresh, even today. Why do you think Shams' wisdom, especially as it comes through Rumi, is so timeless for us right now?
Well, I think his wisdom isn't just timeless. It feels acutely relevant now. Think about it. In an age obsessed with personal branding, curated online identities, this constant pressure to present a perfect self, Shams's call to dissolve the prison of ego offers such a radical counter-narrative. It's a powerful invitation to move beyond performance and truly be, to find liberation in humility and authentic self.
That's a really good point.
And, when we see global conflicts fueled by rigid ideologies, by tribalism, Shams's insistence on ish, that passionate, all-encompassing love as the ultimate unifier, it becomes a profound blueprint for bridging divides, reminding us to seek common humanity over dogma.
And what about that profound idea of transformation, of being sort of broken open to something greater, even when it's uncomfortable? How does that still matter in our modern lives?
Yeah, that's huge. He shows us that true transformation, deep personal growth, it often comes when we dare to let someone or something break us open to a higher reality. Think about breakthroughs in art or science or even just personal relationships. They rarely come from staying comfortably within established boundaries, right?
True.
Shams teaches us that authentic growth often demands a willingness to dismantle what we thought we knew, to embrace that creative discomfort. It's about being receptive to profound change, welcoming the fire that refines rather than destroys. In a world that often values comfort and certainty above all else, his message reminds us that the greatest growth happens at the edges of our understanding, when we're most vulnerable and open to the unknown.
That is a powerful, enduring lesson for anyone seeking deeper meaning or authentic connection or genuine change in their own life. It inspires us to maybe embrace discomfort on the path to growth. Shams Tabrizi. He may not have left behind a library of his own books or, countless written treatises, but his spirit undeniably shines through every passionate word of Rumi. His life reminds us that sometimes just one encounter, one extraordinary friendship, can indeed change the course of history. It can leave an indelible mark on the world, a legacy carried not on paper, but really in the hearts and minds of humanity.
Absolutely. And what's fascinating there is the enduring power of influence and inspiration. It demonstrates that true impact isn't always measured by, say, personal authorship. To consider how an unwritten legacy transmitted through the catalytic force of a personal connection can be far more impactful, far more far-reaching than any author text alone. It truly shaped civilizations.
So the next time you reflect on the nature of love, and not just romantic love, but divine love, universal love, the kind of love that binds us all and dissolves the ego, remember Shams Tabrizi, the mystic who lit the flame of Rumi's soul. And maybe ponder the power of those rare, profound connections in your own life that dare to break you open to a higher reality, revealing a deeper truth about yourself and the world.